Welcome to another special episode of The Diplomats. This time we're here to talk to, is it Marjan?
No, it's Marian.
Marian.
Yes.
Okay. Marian, who played England in the season 5 Nexus finals. We're here joined today with Superstition, who's in his automobile, so you don't see his face for safety reasons, and Audacious Hand, who didn't have the courage to come on and talk to Marian because he's a big coward. He can dish it out, but he can't take it.
Okay.
As always, we're brought to you by diplomacybriefing.com, and this will allow us to focus this podcast on the West, something we really haven't done for a long time because we've spent so much time in the East and there was a lot of interesting action in the East. But the West really drove the storyline of how this game was won by Germany, and Marian was a big part of it. So Marian, thank you for coming. Welcome.
Thank you for taking me back. So
tell us a little bit about when you got interested in diplomacy and why, and more importantly, where you're from.
I'm in Germany, and I started to play diplomacy 3 years ago, mostly on conspiracy. Then I discovered Nexus community and I immediately joined. My first game was in the season 3, and I guess I lost 3 games in the season 3, and then I discovered this is a higher level of diplomacy. Then I moved to season 4, and finally season 5 I improved my game a lot. Now I'm the finals.
So how would you describe your diplomatic style?
I would say I'm more like alliance player. Like before the finals, I was told about alliance shifting every turn or every second, like in the last season, I guess. And I do not like this. I like long-term alliance, like I had with Germany for the first part of the game, and I tried this with Italy in this. So I would say alliance-centric player.
He probably would.
Yeah.
So how much familiarity with the other finalists did you have coming into this top board?
Actually, none. I remember once I played with Tom a game 2 years ago on conspiracy, but that's all. Actually, I didn't even. I mean, I know the names, but that's it.
So you were seated 5th coming into the game, but you got to pick 3rd, and you picked England. You rounded out the West and didn't pick any power in the East. Tell me about your strategy in that.
It was basically Germany he's from Italy, so it's this communication stuff, like we are both in Europe, and then we can communicate a whole day. And the second reason was France, because as I was preparing myself for the tournament, for the final game, I discovered that Doc is like alliance player. Like for him, his diplomacy is alliance thing. Then I saw, okay, I want to be between those two. My first pick is Germany, and if he does not want, then I would just turn to Otto and then play with him. This was why I choose England.
Okay, and when you play England, typically, do you prefer to work, not knowing who you're playing with, do you prefer to work with France, or do you prefer to work with Germany, or does it just depend on the player and the communication style?
I would say it depends on the player. And this time, I went completely all in with Germany, and it took an hour of initial negotiation, and we both knew we could do something together. And
what was it about Germany that was there a shorthand of communication? You were just You saw the board the same way, or what attracted you to Germany right away?
It was mostly the communication thing. Like we started to talk, and I told him, okay, look, we are brought from Europe. We have no problems with communication. We can talk the whole day. We could make our plans, and at some point we agreed pretty fast on our strategy, on our long-term strategy, moves. We would discuss our moves every time. We would just no secrets. We would discuss about the other players, and it was pretty comfortable for both of us, I think.
Tell me about your initial thoughts, since you didn't really know them, maybe Tom from a couple of years ago. Your initial negotiations with France and Russia, and then what you thought of the others initially.
So I think most interesting was Kong.
Of course.
He's just like so eloquent, if I may say, and
He's a charmer. He can charm.
Yeah, he can. Then I enjoyed my press with England, with Russia. Weah is just amazing player with a lot of advice in every situation. Doc was a kind of legend, like he's a source. You can ask him for whatever you want. How do I play this? How do you see this situation? He would explain it to you and would say, wow, didn't know that. And I mean, every one of the players was a special player. I mean, I knew
Tom's criticism of Doc, I'm sorry to interrupt. Tom's criticism of Doc was, he was able to help and be friendly and give you suggestions, but he was very insistent that his suggestions are the ones that you take. Did you find that true?
I mean, in retrospective, to say, I had my plan with Germany, and I don't think Doc did ever something against it. There was a kind of try to put us in a Western triple, what looks like good for me and looks like good for Doc, but not good for Germany. And Germany was never interested in Western triple.
Understandable.
It was like Kong's idea, and more, let's do the Western triple because of this Italy-Austria attack on him. That was it.
All right. And so as we look at the moves, you had your plan against Doc, but neither you nor Doc moved to the channel in spring of 01. And the reason is why?
The reason is, it's okay. As I prepared for this final game, I tried to find some games from Doc played, and I guess Doc won the championship 2012, and he played France with this Maginot opening. And for myself, I don't like to move to the channel. It's like you commit yourself to a decision and there is no way back. And we agreed pretty fast, okay, let's no bounce. Everyone goes his way. And then we talk about Belgium, and that's it.
How did the discussions go on Belgium?
There was Belgium is interesting thing. Humble says sometimes, okay, I get Belgium and you get an ally, dot for alliance. Yeah, it's like of his philosophy of playing. And then I tried, okay, can I do the same? But actually, I had my ally in Germany, and I knew he would support me, so there was no real question. And I guess the Doc would knew this. Doc expected this, I guess.
Yeah, he said in his interview that Germany was a little back and forth with him, but that you were straightforward. You never indicated to him that you were going to be his friend.
It's like a kind, look, I told him, support me to Belgium and we can do something together, maybe to attack on Germany. And he said, but I need Belgium, something like this. And I'm always afraid of three centers France in the first year. I don't like this actually,
Oh yeah.
because he will maybe build a fleet in Brest and there could be also a threat for me. Therefore, I think to put my army into Belgium would be the best for me, and then he would not agree. He would say, okay. But basically, I knew Germany would support me, so it was just talking and talking and talking, and yeah.
All right. So when we look at fall of '01, he tries to bounce you. Doc does.
Yeah. I guess he was not really sure. It was like, I need Belgium, and Doc suggested three-way bounce, I guess, in Belgium. But in my opinion, it was just a huge loss of tempo. And Germany say, okay, I support you to Belgium, and Doc can do nothing about. And I remember Doc said something like he may move to Munich, but he don't know if he really considered that move.
You get a friendly bounce in Sweden from Germany, which is always good for England.
Yeah.
And I assume when you took it with the fleet, I assume Russia had to be satisfied at that point that that might be the end of it north.
That was pretty much agreed. So I take Norway with the fleet, and and I'm okay with Russia. But as all these moves with Germany, it was just, how do you say, orchestrated with. So Russia is happy, France is not happy, but I guess at this point he should knew what is about to come upon him.
All right, and what comes is strong EG cooperation. As we look, you build two fleets.
Yeah, this was an interesting point. Of course, I knew this game where Humble won, I don't know, was Dixicom or Liberty Cup. He was England and Max Vex was Germany.
Yeah, I think that was Liberty Cup.
Yeah. And Humble say, okay, I'm building two fleets. And for that, Max must build two armies.
Right.
So I understand this idea. And here comes the philosophy of Humble. Humble says, okay, I'm building two fleet, you build two armies. If not, I'm going to Russia and I'm supporting him to Sweden or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And
Must be punished.
Okay, but this is not my strategy. I mean, I entered this game and I want long-term strategy with Germany. I'm not ready to change my alliance partner just for Sweden thing. Okay, I think my chance would come somewhere. So we decided. He said, okay, he builds fleet in Kiel, moving to Bale, I guess, and then to Sweden for him, St. Petersburg for me, and so on. So, okay, that was.
All right. So, I mean, you're in very strong position, and you get an army build in St. Petersburg, which is understandable. No fleet build, south or north coast. So things are looking good. We move into the fall of '02, spring of '02, and Germany takes Burgundy. You take the Channel. You take the Irish Sea. It's a fantastic turn.
Yeah, it does look good. I mean, again, it was all agreed between us, so there's no big surprise. No.
And in general, right? I mean, the East starts getting messy in fall 1902, but with the Austrian stab of Italy. But what were you generally thinking of what was happening in the East the perception is it was a mess and they could never work out what was going. And I assume that was great for you in Germany at the time.
Actually, I agree. We both enjoyed this. I mean, we had all the time to take down Doc. So as long as they fight each other, and it was like a never-ending fight between Kong and VI and Austria and Italy. So as long as they fight, we have enough time to take Doc and then to just move on. I would like standard England stuff to move to Mediterranean, and Germany would move east. That was it.
Yeah, I think you were criticized a little bit for you got it right the next year of the failure to take Picardy this time where you could have convoyed.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Were you working on tactics? I assume it sounds like you and Germany were talking about it all as much as you could.
Yes, we did. I mean, it was comfortable. Once I'm at work and he's studying at home, and we have plenty of time to discuss moves, to discuss strategy, and all the other players are sleeping at that time, so no one would disturb you. And this was a big thing for us.
I can understand. I played in the season 2 finals, and my Germany, the person who played Germany was in Germany, and so it was extraordinarily difficult to coordinate our times. I would have to wake up either early or go to bed very late just to make sure that we had a good time. And I was never sure, like, because when adjudication hit, I was never sure what we were going to do.
The thing is, with communication, it was funny. I mean, of course, best communication I had with Germany, but also with the West Coast. I mean, with Tom and Kong, and also with VI, because before I go to bed, they're online. I wake up, they're still online. So, and that was amazing. I mean, the amount of press in this game is, I can't compare it.
It's indescribable. A finals game press is indescribable. And Conk is, I write it nearly as much as Conk does. It's just crazy how much press he can send, and you're at two different corners of the board.
Yeah, but of course, I guess in this situation, he was all the time asking, okay, come on, attack Russia, and I need Germany and me. We understood the situation, but we just had our plan and just moving, and we don't care about him. I mean, we cannot help him immediately.
So go ahead.
We need to take down France, and that's it, and then move on.
Yeah, you're committed. I mean, yeah, I agree with that strategy. Now, Fall of 02 sees Tom in Italy enter Gulf of Leon, and he starts playing in the West a little bit. What did you think of that at the time?
This was agreed with us. So he said, okay, the problem is with Germany, England attacking France, it takes just too long. France has just a solid position, and we need a help. And we said, okay, Tom, if you could join us, you get Marseille or Spain or whatever. And yeah, that was agreed. We asked him to help us.
Okay. Winter comes, Germany builds an army, which is understandable. And then spring is a really, well, you lose Burgundy, but you do take Picardy.
Yeah, I guess. Did I move? Is this Holland to Picardy?
Convoy, yeah. Holland convoyed through the North Sea and English Channel with
okay.
support.
Okay, so far we are good now. Okay, I feel okay. We have play on Brest, I guess. Yes, we have, but the real problems comes in the fall of 03. Yeah. Okay. So this is it, I guess, if I remember.
Correct. This is you supported Burgundy to Picardy, allowing Germany to retreat to Paris.
Okay, this was like, yeah, I remember. This was like another coin flip move. and it went well. I said, okay, I'm moving to middle. Okay, I'm in middle. Okay, this position is still okay for me. There's nothing.
So in his interview, Tom said he was talking both to Doc and he was talking to you two the whole time, meaning you in Germany, and that he believed that he was writing your orders, not just you, but Germany's orders, and that he was helping Doc defend, uh, telling them what you would do for a lot of these moves. Is that ringing true or false, or is it gray somewhere in the middle between there?
I would say it's somewhere in the middle. I mean, our moves are pretty much obvious. Okay, but this move, this was his idea. I guess this bound, this double up, yes, this was Tom's idea. But I mean, we have to move to Burgundy, to Picardy. I have to put a fleet to middle, yes, to Mao, and then follow up with Ing. So yes, he was a part of this. I mean, there was no big secrets. We're just moving to fighting.
Right. Okay. Uh, I assume you found humorous Conk freaking out, at Austria stabbing him after he got him on side. I mean, that had to be sort of entertaining from your perspective.
So let's say we had some fun with each other. That's it.
So tell me what you're thinking here, because now Germany's up 2 on you, and you've got Liverpool that's going to go down. So your conversations with Germany, are you concerned about center count, or you're just very trusting in Germany? Tell me how you're managing that.
So this is a kind of interesting position. I'm now at 5, he's at 7. But this army in Belgium is like, whenever he would attack me, I could retreat to Holland or maybe to Rouen. And I knew I'm giving up Liverpool, but that's like a dead end for France. I'm getting a fleet in Mao is just more powerful than this now fleet. And I guess the real problems comes now. Spring of 04 is really interesting. Okay. So, famous last hour before the resolution. The plan was Germany should move to Finland, and I take then St. Petersburg.
Right.
So, but Germany says he would not move to Finland. Okay. Then he said also I should move to Norwegian, just to DMC North. And he said to me, move Belgium away. So on this, okay, 1 hour to go, and I panicked. So what to do? It felt like he would like to stab me now. We agreed he would move Sweden to Finland and helping me Norway to St. Petersburg. But see, he said no. So what should I do now? I cannot message Doc to help me because he's communicating only on Backstabber, and I know VI is somewhere. So I just did, just moves. It was just bad moves. Nothing good here. Nothing good. I'm not proud of it. I mean, the best thing would have been just to move Belgium to Brest, but no, we didn't. So this was my worst season of the game.
Well, we're going to admit Audacious Hand.
Oh.
He wants to come. He hasn't heard anything, but he's coming in right now.
Ah, nice.
But I was very curious what you thought of this German-Russian cooperation. I mean, here, Germany is taking Silesia, but he wanted to keep Russia on side as much as he could.
I mean, from my point of view, Russia played this time like pretty much passive game, and I think Germany would not like to commit himself to go completely east before France is still alive. So yeah, but maybe, I don't know.
Okay, so you don't like these moves. You're not going to be able to take St. Petersburg now
No.
in the fall. And I'm curious, how did the negotiations go? Hey, Hand, how are you?
Hey there.
And fun.
So join in anytime. We're right here where England is in spring of 04. So, all right. So how did negotiations with Germany go now? You were already distrusting a little bit of his last minute request not to attack Russia and to move away from him in the north and Belgium. And so how do you approach this upcoming series of what you're going to do?
Okay. To be honest, it was my worst nightmare. I couldn't get a sleep because I was so mad at him. I was mad at me. And I don't know what to do. I need someone to talk about, and he was not the right one. And I would sit on my computer and write. I guess I needed 2 hours to write a very long message on Backstabber. And we just need to sort the things out and just to continue our plan. But this was just a start of I see it was not good.
Did you communicate with Germany in English?
Yes.
So your English is very good, but I imagine it is somewhat challenging if English is not your first language to be communicating with another person in which English is not that person's first language also.
I guess his English is a bit better than mine in any case, and it was not a big issue. I guess English barrier, this problem I had on mostly with Kong, because I already mentioned he's so eloquent, and I sometimes have to translate things. But that was it.
Okay, well, I can translate Kong's writing for you very easily. Help me. Help me, help me, help me. Here's 10 reasons why you should help me.
Yeah.
Okay, so we go to the fall. You were mad. And in the fall, you go back to Belgium, but you do get Italian cooperation into Spain.
Okay, and here is, I have to ask Tom for help. I said to him, okay, I make you an offer and you help me to Spain, and next season you get Spain, I move to Portugal, that's it. So, and I moved to Belgium in case of I'm able to convoy to York. I guess there is a French fleet, yes. In case, okay, I get a build.
Right.
In case Doc would keep this unit in Liverpool, I can convoy to York, and then I would take Liverpool back. This was therefore to Belgium.
Meanwhile, again, Germany doesn't appear to be helping you at all with St. Petersburg and is now moving away.
It was a kind of difficult, I guess. He would not leave Sweden because he would expect me maybe to sneak in. Then Denmark is open. You need to cover Denmark, and Holland is open. He said he feel uncomfortable, but I said to him, okay, but you're 2 senders in front of me, 2 senders in front of everyone else. So, but that's it.
How
He
would
was-
you describe Germany's playing style and his diplomatic style? You know, he won the game, and we don't spend a lot of time talking about him. You probably communicated with him more than anyone else.
He's like, I mean, we pretty much discussed everything on the board, and often we think similar of our moves, of our strategy, but he would like, I knew he had a good relationship with Austria all the game. And after the step, we had a one season, we do not communicate, but then we started again. But maybe if you move on, then I will explain more about.
So sorry if this is redundant, and sorry for being late, you guys. So when I was interpreting the board, I often read it as you being the one who was a bit more paranoid and dragging your feet and slowing things down a bit. But it sounds like you're saying that was more what Germany was doing to kind of maybe passively limit you through kind of a sort of exaggerated paranoia.
It's like, even now I'm at 5, he's at 7. I need to retake Liverpool. I say, okay, we're still okay. Let's just proceed like agreed. I take St. Petersburg and I take Portugal and I move to Mediterranean, and the south is still so messy. And I mean, at this point, Russia moved to Budapest. Yeah. And I said to him, okay, this was agreed. And Germany said, no, this is a step. I said to Doc, this was agreed. Doc said, no, this was a step. Because everyone expected room to Serbia. So, yeah, let's move to the next season, the initial step, and then maybe we can explain more.
Yeah.
Okay. Here. Okay, we are good. We finally moved for me to taking St. Petersburg. Italy is helping me. This was all agreed, so nothing unusual here for us. No, and taking Liverpool, bouncing. Okay. I think I still feel okay. So.
Well, you must have felt great here because you were on the verge of getting a jump and maybe becoming one. This was a point where you could have become one of the favorites to win the game.
Yeah, but then I misinterpreted the next step. This was an interesting situation, as you will see what actually happened. The thing is, I had St. Petersburg for sure. If Germany would have moved Sweden to Finland, so he refused. Then I was forced to make a deal with Italy. Okay, help me with Spain. Then, and you know, if you are just forced to move to work with 2 instead of 1, that felt not that good. So okay, that was it. So let's move to the step time. Ed, I don't hear you.
Ed, you're on mute.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
What I was saying is, all right, I appreciate the moves. You're in position now, but how paranoid were you at this exact moment that something bad might happen? Did you have any clues in retrospect?
No.
Total shock. What time of the day? It was in the evening, your time, when the adjudication would go through, right? Like around dinner time.
Yeah, I remember. I remember very well. I was shopping with my wife, and then you get this notification backstab, and I see, and then I say, "Wow, hold on," and I say, "Wow, what happened?" So, okay.
Brutal.
Okay. The mistake here was I just underestimated Doc, his will to survive. This was a mistake. And the Belgian thing, it was agreed. Actually, we had this discussion, okay, I'll let you go to Belgium, and my plan was like, okay, I give him 2 centers lead and then he would target himself. So this was okay. But I underestimated Doc, his move to Brest, and of course Italy.
And in Italy, did he? I mean, it's an obvious misorder, but how did he try and explain this to you? Did he just say he messed up? Did you believe him?
I mean, he was part of this thing. He was very well informed. He said to me, okay, I didn't knew this about Doc. I don't think so. He didn't knew this. And to be honest, I hate this misorder. It's not the way how I do things. There was no need. But if you move, my last.
But did he try to come up with an excuse? What was his story for the misorder? Was he drunk? Did he oversleep?
He said,
what?
In my understanding, I do not like misorder if I stab one. Just hold, just do something else. But misorder is just, if I may say, stupid. I don't like it. Therefore, in fall 10, as I moved Mao, I moved to South Spain, just like a revenge for me. I don't think he got this, but I said, okay, yeah, there's not much to say.
Yeah. So tell me what you have to do in your head now to try and recover from this, because you do recover for a while. What are you thinking about? Like, what's the plan?
What should I do now? I mean, Tom apologized immediately. He said, okay, he would not knew that Germany just was very well done. And when I say, okay, I need to calm down here. I need to calm down. Okay. And then let's see, I have 2 disbands, and let's play the game. Let's ask, okay, I need Russia, I need Austria, I need Italy, I need everyone else to help me against Germany. But unfortunately, I would never get help from no one here. Yes, Italy, but just for a while. Because, yeah.
England, I mean, what was Russia telling you?
This was interesting. Russia said to me, like season after, you should smell this. I don't know. I was not expected it as just no.
I mean, I will say you did cover your bases to some extent, because what would make the stab obvious is if you had gone ahead as if they were going to let you take 3 centers. But it does seem like if you offered him Belgium, you only go up by 2 centers. I can see how you thought you had mitigated the obviousness of the stab. But looking at it from without, it looked like you just thought Germany would let you go up by 3.
Yeah, it'd be 8-8. It'd be 8-8 under this scenario that you're saying if you gave him Belgium.
It was, I don't know who. I think Austria was involved in some way, but it was just for me, okay, give him Belgium and let him attract everything, and everyone say, wow, look at Germany, he's 2 centers lead, we have to do something. Then I would, and I'm behind, I'm always in his back, I'm in North Sea, and I control so many centers here. And then this was perfect step, what to say.
So you only have one option, which is to get back on board with Italy. that is it for you at this point. If Russia's not cooperative, the East is a mess because.
Okay, this was the point where Russia moved to Vienna. So, and this band was really interesting thing. Can you move to the, okay. And here I thought a lot, and I'm asking Italy, what would you like me to disband? And he said, okay, maybe Mao, maybe this. Doc says to me, you have to keep Liverpool, and Russia said you have to keep St. Petersburg, and I said, okay, I need to keep my fleets. Just I need to, in some way, to maintain control of the seas, and then we are going to see. And then all the time I'm saying, okay, Russia, you need to help me. Austria, you need to help me. I have Italy already on my side, and it's like an uphill battle, but I didn't give up. Let's do something.
Well,
okay.
you know, here we go. You take the Channel, you lose St. Petersburg, but you lose the North Sea.
Okay, this was basically.
And you take Norway.
It was tactically very interesting move here. The most obvious thing I would like, yes, okay, I would discuss with Austria, and he said, you can maybe try to sneak into Norway. And then at that time I discussing with Germany, say, okay, what can we do here? I said, okay, let's bounce in North Sea. And we both know North Sea is very important to control. Okay, so okay, let's bounce there. So
okay, so he thought he was bouncing.
Yeah. Therefore it was possible because there was no other possibility to take Norway.
And you take away the guessing game because you can cover London and Edinburgh.
Yeah, and yeah. And then I moved to English Channel, and I see, okay, my fleets are looking pretty much good now. I have a play on Brest and Portugal and Spain. That was okay.
Yeah, this was one of your best moves, and it really takes a lot of bravery to give up the North Sea because it's so vital. But you kind of use that as bait for him. It's really well done.
Yeah, it was. The problem here is, okay, let's move to the next season. Then I'll explain more. So, okay. Okay, Austria taking back Budapest. And here's the interesting thing. It was like I'm moving to Portugal. So, and like Doc would move instantly Portugal to Spain, and Tom would say, okay, I leave Spain open, you move to Portugal, and then retake. And I don't know when Doc is writing, so what is going on with Portugal? Is okay, he's aware of this plan, and I need Tom to help me to Spain. It was pretty much agreed here, everything. But here had something interesting. Germany moves Paris to Brest. So why is that? It was not agreed. He loses Norway, so he thinks he must cut his losses and takes Brest away from Doc. And Doc was absolutely not happy about, and he would write to me, okay, I'm out, so what can we do now? So at this point, I got Doc on my side, at least I think.
Did you agree to let Italy into the mid-Atlantic here?
Yes, I had to. I mean, Germany would blame me all the time. Why are doing deals with Italy? Why do you help him? But I would reply, okay, what can you give it to me? Can you give me Sweden? Can you give me anything? Can we go back on track? Like I would attack St. Petersburg, and I would move down to Spain, and maybe, can you give me something? But no, I cannot. So why don't you blame me for letting Italy to Mao? So there was nothing. It was not best deal for me, but it was the only deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So,
well, I mean, yes and no. Let me push back a little bit because you didn't have a place to make your two builds. Oh, you only got one build because you lost St. Petersburg.
Yeah.
yes, that's one point.
Yeah, it's interesting that Russia just really would not help you at all at any point in this game.
Okay, here you need to understand following. I would like to prove Germany is wrong with his step. I mean, I was left with 4 Sanders. I mean, step was not devastating at all. I'm still alive. But Russia said, okay, he wants to prove Austria is wrong. So
Yeah.
he would not, this is, so I'm left alone. This is really ridiculous. And there was a point where I will ask him, okay, come on, can you help me? He will say no. So.
Well, we complimented this. We love this little movement of your anticipation of Brest to Paris, Channel to Brest, Mao to Channel, Spain to Mid-Atlantic, and Lyon to Spain. I mean, that little train. I mean, you gave up the English Channel, but you're working with Italy. How confident were you that that was going to work?
Okay, at this point, I say I'm ready to help Italy to win the game. There is no doubt. Okay, Germany stepped me and Italy too, but he gave me a hope. Just he said, I'm helping you. Okay. And here, I have no choice here. Just Doc would move to Brest. It was agreed. I mean, all this was agreed. And I guess
it all hinges on Germany covering Paris. These 5 movements.
Yeah. It was like Doc said, okay, let me to Brest, and Italy knew about this. I guess everyone else knew, so it was no surprise.
Still rather daring. So at this point, you're relying on Italy quite a lot, both for intelligence and moves. I wasn't privy to the early part of the game. I mean, I don't know if you heard Italy saying that he wrote all of your and Germany's moves early on, which struck me as rather presumptuous in a way. But also that a lot of the other players really have told us that they found him unreliable, I think was one word. Untrustworthy. I mean, did you have the same sentiment about him? Was this a very reluctant alliance for you? Was it the only person left?
Okay, let me put it this way. If you need someone to have a drink or two, Tom is the right one. He's amazing. I had most fun with Tom. So we would like trash talk like about everything else. Okay. But when it comes to diplomacy, he's sometimes I would say difficult. Like he would always offer you a deal, but it's not favorable for you. It's always favorable for him.
That's what Austria said. Every deal was 60-40 in his favor.
Yeah, and I would say out of us 7, the Tom is, I would say, the one who would solo the most low-level games, because his style is just his most manipulative player I ever played. So you write with him, you communicate, and you always have the feel he's about to do something. He has some these utility motives, or I don't know how to explain.
All right, we'll move to the fall here.
Okay. Okay, pretty much agreed everything. And
this time Italy goes to Portugal. No, he doesn't hurt you. You killed Doc.
Yeah, it was okay. This was the point where we had a discussion. Doc said to him he should stab me, just stay in Spain and leave Brest, and then Doc would take London or whatever. I mean, if he would have done this, he would immediately join Germany, and then Germany would just take an easy win here. I don't see a point to Doc, and yeah, right. It was the right decision for Tom to take Doc out of the game.
And Doc did really hurt Italy with that move to Gascony.
It was like there was some kind of idea to something about English Channel. I agreed with Tom, and I should disagree with Doc, and we would write and write and write. And Doc said, "Why Italy wants me to do this?" And I said to him, like 5 minutes before, distraction. And therefore he moved. I guess therefore he moved to gas. Because at this point, I was completely honest to Doc. I said to him, look, I'm going to Brest. English Channel is going to support me. Spain is moving to Portugal. But then Doc says to me, but Tom wants me to do something else. Then I said to him, it's just a distraction. This is it.
Yeah, I don't know if you can argue it both ways, whether that was the right move to respond to that press. I mean, on the one hand, you don't want Italy. Italy's already in the channel. On the other hand, Germany kept a center.
Yeah, yeah. But Italy was
tough judgment call.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, it was dope. So.
Okay, and the winter you build a fleet.
Okay, this was also okay. This was actually a good thing here. Just yes.
You got the army on the continent. You can break Paris.
Okay. Here is the thing. I talk with Tom, how can we take Paris and Belgium and more? And then I said to him, okay, let me convoy my army to Picardy and you take Paris. Army is dead and we have play on Belgium.
But why not take Belgium?
But yeah, there's a big debate with us about whether or not Italy should have gotten Belgium and you could have moved to the channel.
Because Belgium is a sure thing in the fall, even better position. But let's take a look at this position. Paris is moving to Burgundy. It was completely agreed. About 10 minutes ago, I knew, okay, it was agreed. And I put my orders immediately, like 23 hours before the resolution. If you move to the next, to fall turn, okay, here's just perfect. I move Picardy to Paris. He should support me. At the same time, English Channel support Burgundy to Belgium. So he got his centers. I got a center. I guess Austria and Germany are at 8. Italy and me are at 7. So good position, really good for both of us. And then I guess again, this famous last hour before the resolution, I started to talk with Tom. He said, okay, Belgium. I said, no, Picardy to Paris is my move and nothing else. And at the same time, I write to VI and I said to him, he's going to fuck me again, if I'm allowed to say this.
Yeah, you can say it.
And then I asked talk with Austria and he said, okay.
Well, you could have taken Belgium. If you thought that was going to happen.
Yeah, the thing is, Tom say, okay, Germany would offer you Belgium, but he would then take Paris. But I said, okay, but you already have Greece. So why do you need Paris too? Give me Paris, and then we have next season, we have everything. But you can't have Belgium.
Yep.
We couldn't agree on this, and then the step came, and okay.
Were you with your wife again?
But let me think about no. I was alone. I guess she was away. And here is basically game over for me.
Who do you hate more, Germany or Italy, or both equally?
This is a good question. Okay. I would say let's move. I would answer this in the 10. The last.
Okay.
I mean, I would like to know what do you think? What was, because this stab is so poor. What was Italy trying to accomplish with this move? It almost seems like he did so much scheming and mental gymnastics that he got tied up. But why prioritize disbanding the army in Picardy, I wonder?
I really don't know what. I mean, in retrospective, when I see now this game is over for me, and I see, like, most of the time I was left alone to fight Germany, and maybe it's a kind of higher level of diplomacy, but I never understood this. Like, okay, like I'll just say, I want to help, I want to fight Germany, but then he helps him. The Italy this, I want to fight Germany, but he helps him. He's doing business. But we are now in the 09. We have no time to do something against Germany. So I never understood this. And then after this step, I write to VI. I need to say, after the step, until the end of the game, I had the best communication with him, with Russia. He's just amazing player, I want to say. And I said to him, you know what? I'm going to let them pay for their fraud and their stupidity. And I meant Austria and Italy. So.
Well, I mean, you had in another sense, you played an important role, because the moves aren't so important unless you want to point them out, but you got to be kingmaker.
Yes.
Austria, Italy, and Germany are the three countries in 09 that have a chance to win. You had a chance to make a choice, but you were fighting both, and it's hard.
And here is actually my game is done. Then I say to Tom, okay, let's do something. Let's just improve my units in some way, and we'll see. I would move Portugal back to Mount, and I would be able to convoy your army to Portugal in case I would help you to win. But actually, my motivation was like down to zero now.
Tom wrote after the game, and he said in our interview that he thought he really understood how much you hated Germany, and that you would forgive him after the stab, because while it was bad, you could see it was in the greater good for him to beat Germany, your number one enemy. But you clearly did not see it that way.
Okay, no. It's like he attacked me already once as he dismissed order, okay? Then he stabbed me. So it was my question to Doc. Don't you think 2 steps are enough or not enough? I mean, at some point, I think maybe Tom thought, okay, I can stab England for like 1,000 times and he would still help me to win. And I don't think so. I mean, 2 times is enough, more than enough. I would have let him win, no problems, without a stupid stab. That was it. I mean, with this stab, he's out.
Yeah, he really. Now that I see what you meant about thinking 2 moves ahead with landing in Picardy, that you could have taken 2 centers from Germany. It's like I said at other times. I mean, maybe maybe you're giving someone else a chance to win, but at least one of you has a chance rather than neither. So it was pretty ill considered and ill timed.
I mean, here in this situation, I guess you discussed about why moving to North Sea, why not London to North Sea.
Mm-hmm.
Here, if I would have played Germany now, I would just move Norway to North Sea and then bounce. Therefore, I was forced to move Belgium to North Sea. But
so in the fall, before we talked to Austria. I would just say this: Austria told us that he thought the highest of you, of everybody. Just really enjoyed your conversations with you, and liked you a bunch. And he pointed out that if he had bounced Conk and Rum, taken Munich, and had you bounce Burgundy to Belgium, which I think it would have given him the game. I think that's what he said. I haven't actually done the math.
okay.
But did he tell me your thought process and how everything went in your head at this point?
Okay. This was really interesting turn. Sunday, I would take like a long walk, like 2 hours, and then think about what do I want to do now? Who do I want to see winning this game? So I have my moves done. I would move Mao to South Spain. And
why didn't Marseille cover?
I don't know. I don't understand this move.
Okay.
I have no clue. And here, I guess 14 minutes before the resolution, I knew Austria is dead. He's out. So also I know St. Petersburg is moving to Moscow. So I can bounce Germany out of Belgium and then I can support maybe Gascony. But I didn't. I felt like what kind of reasons I have, and it was the second step. Therefore, I didn't help Italy. Germany did a good work. He stabbed me, and I promised him he will not get away with this. But unfortunately,
he did.
He did. But look at this. Did Austria attack Germany at some point? Just scratching Munich once or 2 times. Did Italy attack Germany? Yes, he did. But did he took a sender from him? He did not.
But look at this. If Tyrolia moved to Munich, Austria would have had Warsaw and Munich. He could have bounced Conk in the black, and you could have bounced Germany out of Belgium, and Austria would have won.
Yeah. But I knew Conk would do what he did. So, to be honest, I didn't care about this now. I mean, I could have. Conk says, okay, I'm fine with 6 centers. I would maximize my centers count. And for me, I don't care. 5 centers, 6 centers, 4. I survived this game. It was very interesting. But I didn't try to maximize my centers. Like, the game is draw. 5 centers or 6 makes no difference to me. 5th place or 3rd place. Do you remember who was 5th or 3rd last season or season before?
I was 2nd. I remember when I was 2nd.
Yeah, I know, but no one remembers the 5th or 4th place. You always remember the winner. So
I remember Humble being in 5th. I hope you're listening, Humble.
I mean, no one seems to forget me being last ever. So I don't know if that's really true.
What do you attribute Germany's victory to? Was he a worthy winner? And if so, how did he do it?
he did deserve this win. I mean, this Austria, Russia, Turkey, Italy thing, it was always messy for the whole game. I mean, I was begging for help. Come on, Russia, could you help me? He says no. He would say, okay, I want to prove Austria is wrong what he did. Then I said, Austria, can you help me? I will see. And then all the time, he would make the kind of small deals with Germany. He would discuss, okay, what is this like helping him? Italy is doing the same thing. So basically, and Germany, we had a nice relationship before the end when he said, okay, can we make peace? Can you stop attacking me? And I said, no, this is not an option for me. I will never stop. But if you should win, I mean, I remember I wrote to him, you was at 9 centers after you stabbed me. So, and season before, Pez won the game with 9 centers. So do you think you can get away with this? He said, I don't think so, but we will see. And he was right. I mean, if you go season back here, Russia could easily have, he could support, okay, here. Take a look, and Moscow can easily cover St. Petersburg. There was no need to double attack Sevastopol, but Russia said, no, this is not an option for me. So.
Okay, Hand or Superstition, any final questions before we, guess not anything from Hand. Superstition or anything?
I have a question. I have a question for him.
Yeah, he'll be back in a second.
He'll be back.
Superstition. What is your best game in diplomacy ever? Like your Mona Lisa in diplomacy?
There was a game in season 1 where I stabbed for like 5 centers on Russia.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a pretty nasty one. The whole map was red.
What was your final center count on that? 22, I think.
I have no idea. It was like 22 centers.
Okay, Hand. I'm not.
Sorry,
hold on. You're going to say whatever you want, but I want to say, Marianne has every right to say what he wants to say to you. So look the man in the eye and let him talk to you.
No, I'm just fine. I mean, I'm using this like just to improve my game, and all criticism is welcome. The point is, we all try to reflect our own philosophy into the game. Like, I know Odysseus' Hand is more aggressive than Superstition. Like he would say in the opening, why not move to the channel? Superstition would say, no, maybe not. So, I remember Odysseus' Hand, he would not move fleet to Portugal in fall 01. And I think this is...
Yeah.
I think this is like every one of us has a kind of own philosophy of thinking how would you do things. Like, you see tactics, you don't see tactics, and this is it basically. But
actually, in that vein, I had a question too. So going back to Germany's 2 center stab on you, and when you still thought you were going to get 2, I mean, I thought you might get 3, but it sounds like you would negotiate that away. I mean, what was the future you saw there? I mean, were you seeing a future where you and Germany would get to the end of the game as allies and maybe have a final showdown? I mean, were you expecting a game-long alliance?
Okay, this was, in retrospective, you can say this. It was just too good to be real. Okay, if Germany would not have stabbed me, then I'm controlling like everything, and I already had a kind of deal with Tom, and I would prepare my stab. So this is it.
He's
So
vindicated.
you
Sullivan's
were
position.
planning to stab him in the near future.
Yeah, it was. I had a kind of deal. Okay, let's do this. Let's next season. I would prepare something with Tom immediately, but unfortunately, I was late. Too late.
Well, that's probably a good place to end it. Marian, thank you so much for coming on. It was a pleasure meeting you. You seem like a true gentleman. Thank you for staying up well into the night, early morning now, where you're located in Germany. Thank you for giving us an entertaining game to talk about, maybe the most analyzed game in diplomacy history with the Landscape podcast. So I'd be happy to play on a board and ally with you at any time. So thanks so much.
Yeah.
Don't
You
do it,
definitely have the
Fabio.
best reputation after this game. So
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you do.
Thank you, guys. This was really nice, and looking forward to play this one. Okay.
See you in season 6. Good night, guys.
Have a
Good
good
night.
night. Night.